Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sohum and I'm on a mission to spread peace, love, and positivity through music. Today, I'll be giving a first-time reaction to a Belgian artist named Stromae. We're going to be checking out 3 of Stromae's songs today, which should give us a good idea of what his sound is like. So we'll first start off with Papaoutai, then Formidable, and lastly Lenfer. Now, this is kind of an interesting reaction for me to be doing today because I remember back in high school I took French as my language of choice. I always loved the French language. It sounded beautiful to me, helps with the ladies, all that good stuff. And I remember my French teacher recommended a song by Stromae. At this point, I don't even remember if I've heard it. It's been many years since the name even kind of came up into my orbit, but I do remember getting recommended something from Stromae back then. So it's interesting now that 10 plus years later, I'm getting to react and listen to Stromae's work. So for me, it's kind of this like weird full circle moment, though I think the beginning of the circle never truly started. I never really got the feet off the floor, so to speak, but now we're charging full steam ahead. I'm excited to check out what Stromae has in store for us today, but before we do dive in, a massive thank you goes to Hein the Tuneful for making this donation request today. Thank you very much, Hein. Your donations and selections help guide the direction for the reactions I do over here. But now, let's jump in. It's kind of creepy. Kind of looks like Ronaldo.
Dites-moi d'où il vient, enfin je saurai où je vais. Maman dit que lorsqu'on
Okay, hold on. I have not freshened up on my French, so I'm gonna have to read these lyrics rather quickly.
Dites-moi d'où il vient, enfin je saurai où je vais. Maman dit que lorsqu'on cherche bien, on finit toujours par trouver. Elle dit qu'il n'est jamais très loin, qu'il part très souvent travailler. Maman dit travailler c'est bien, bien mieux.
Absent father, that's what I'm getting right now. Also the chord progression in the keys.
Loin, qu'il part très souvent
Not
travailler.
obvious.
Maman dit travailler c'est
There's a
bien,
bounce to it.
bien mieux qu'être mal accompagné. Pas vrai, où est ton papa? Dis-moi où est ton papa?
Où est,
Sans même devoir lui parler.
où est tu papa in French? So Papaoutai. So kind of inverting the grammar there.
Il sait ce qui ne va pas. Ah sacré papa, dis-moi où es-tu caché? Ça doit faire au moins 1000 fois que j'ai compté mes doigts. Hey. Où t'es papa, où t'es? Où t'es papa, où t'es? Où t'es papa, où t'es? Papa, où t'es? Où t'es, 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 où t'es, où papa, où t'es? Où t'es?
Oh. The dance moves are crazy. How does he do that without dislocating his elbow? Is there like something I'm missing? This is like some kind of optical illusion that he's able to do this?
Quoi, qu'on y croit ou pas, y aura bien un jour où on n'y croira plus. Un jour ou l'autre, on sera tous papa et d'un jour à l'autre, on aura disparu. Serons-nous détestables? Serons-nous admirables? Des géniteurs ou des génies? Dites-nous qui donne naissance aux irresponsables. Hein? Dites-nous qui? Tiens, tout le monde sait comment on fait des bébés, mais personne sait comment on fait des papas. Monsieur, j'étais tout, on aurait hérité, c'est ça. Faut le sucer de son pouce ou quoi? Dites-nous où c'est caché, ça doit faire au moins 1000 fois qu'on a bouffé nos doigts. Hey. Où t'es, papa, où t'es? Où t'es, papa, où t'es? Où t'es, papa, où t'es? Où t'es, où papa, où t'es? Où t'es, 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 où t'es, où papa, où t'es?
Wow. so important to have parental figures in one's life to raise kids. It's not an easy task by any means. And if children don't grow up with parents, or they're missing a key figure in their life, they have to learn life on their own. And of course, you have resources out there and there are still avenues to learn, but it's a far different experience developmentally to grow up without a father or a mother than it would be in the case where you have that access. And there's a privilege in having, both parents in the house. And all of a sudden you have to deal with all of the difficulties that life is presenting to you. And there are so many, spiritually, emotionally, physically, all of that and more. And to question, now why don't I have this resource available to me? And it's not just a resource to get through life. Life is about who we spend the time with. The experiences we have, we want to have them with people that we love, and not having somebody to rely on, we question why we don't have that. It's a terrible thing that a lot of children suffer from, even in the moments where parents are there, but the nuances, they're not necessarily present. I mean, you don't need me to say that it's important to have parents in one child's life, but, it's a point worth considering, at least if you haven't already.
Où est ton papa? Dis-moi où est ton papa? Sans même devoir lui parler, il sait ce qui ne va pas.
It's ultimately so tragic.
Ah sacré papa, dis-moi où es-tu caché? Ça doit
I love the melody
faire au moins
here.
1000 fois que j'ai compté mes doigts. Où est ton papa? Dis-moi où est ton papa? Sans même devoir lui parler, il sait ce qui ne va pas. Ah sacré papa, dis-moi où es-tu caché? Ça doit faire au moins 1000 fois que j'ai compté mes doigts. Où t'es papa, où t'es?
I love that kick drum.
Où t'es papa, où t'es? Où t'es, où t'es? Où papa, où t'es?
The bump right.
Papa, où t'es? Où t'es papa, où t'es? Où t'es papa, où t'es? Où t'es, où t'es? Où papa, où t'es?
Wow. Wow. What a song. What a song. Oh my gosh. And you know what's interesting too? We'll talk more about the lyrics here, but you have this thumping beat. It is so bouncy. It is so danceable. Even the melody, it's very bright and catchy. The chorus, it's sing-alongable. You want to vibe out in a fun way to it, but lyrically, it is talking about some of the most tragic experiences that children can have, which is not having a parent in their life for whatever reason, whether it's loss, whether it's divorce, an absent parent, and in this case here we're talking about fathers. It's so catchy and heartbreaking all in one fell swoop. And presumably this kind of song comes from his own, home life relationship with his father. I don't know necessarily what happened on the back end, but you can see how it affects the life of the child. Now he's having to play by himself, learn by himself. There's so many things now that the child has to do that they shouldn't have to necessarily. Learning, playing, being, all of these things and more, we do them together. There's a reason for that. Community fosters growth. Community helps alleviate burden and pain and bring forth the knowledge of our previous generations into the present. Otherwise, we are just having to rewrite the same scripts, tread similar waters. We can't learn from our elders if they're not there. And there's wisdom that they possess that they can no longer give. Again, it's ultimately tragic. And it's just such a fun song, melodically, rhythmically. And you think about the meaning and it's just like, man, should I be having fun right now? That's kind of where I land on this thing. But, you know, taking a look at YouTube here, 1.1 billion views. I clearly have been living under a rock. Jesus. So that's Papaoutai. Let's check out the next track here, Formidable, which I believe it means awesome in French. Ceci n'est pas une leçon. What does that mean? Need to freshen up. Brussels. And it's cool that they made him into a mannequin in Papaoutai. Stand-in father, but not really.
Formidable!
Oh, I like that chord progression already.
Formidable!
Wonderful, okay.
Formidable!
Oh, it's already...
Tu étais formidable, j'étais formidable.
I love this melody
Nous
already.
étions formidables.
There's an emotion in his voice.
Formidable!
Very
Tu étais formidable, j'étais formidable.
very gravitationally pulling, I don't know. I'm like
bébé,
hooked.
oups, mademoiselle, je vais pas vous draguer. Promis, juré, je suis célibataire depuis hier, putain. Je peux pas faire d'enfant et bon, c'est pas, hé, reviens, 5 minutes quoi. Je t'ai pas insulté, je suis poli, courtois et un peu fort bourré. Mais pour les mecs comme moi, vous avez autre chose à faire, hein. M'auriez vu hier, j'étais formidable. Formidable. Tu étais formidable, j'étais formidable. Nous étions formidables. Formidable. Tu étais formidable, j'étais formidable. Nous étions formidables. Oh, tu t'es regardé.
It's like his delivery, it's almost as if he's like stumbling over his words. There's a rawness to how he's delivering these lines. It's as if he's drunk, and you can even see visually he's like stumbling through the streets here, kind of reminiscing on this heartbreak he's felt, maybe regretting, maybe trying to convince himself that this was a relationship that could have worked, but also recognizing that he may not have been the person he needed to be here as well. It's just a lot about grieving a relationship, recognizing one's fault, still being in love, but also feeling vindicated in who they are. So living in this realm of hypocrisy, but when you're drunk, you're also omitting the presence that you need to feel to be able to healthily process a lot, because you want to numb yourself to the confusion, to the pain, to the set of emotions that we often experience in heartbreak and tumult. And I love this melody so much. Dude, this is good stuff. I really have been missing out.
Nous étions formidables. Oh, tu t'es regardé, tu te crois beau parce que tu t'es marié. Mais c'est qu'un anneau, mec, t'emballe pas. Elle va te larguer comme elles le font chaque fois.
Now he's like jaded with relationships now.
L'autre fille, tu lui en as parlé. Si tu veux, je lui dis, comme ça c'est réglé. Et au petit aussi, enfin si vous en avez. Attends 3 ans, 7 ans et là vous verrez si c'est formidable. Formidable. Tu étais formidable, j'étais formidable. Nous étions formidables.
Ça va Stromae?
Ça va?
T'es un peu fatigué ou quoi?
Ouais.
Je suis un grand
Wow.
fan.
Merci beaucoup.
Wow.
Je tenais à te le dire. Et t'as eu une soirée agitée ou quoi?
Un peu, ouais.
Ouais, t'es déglingué.
Wow.
T'inquiète, ouais, un peu quand même, ouais. J'ai
I
besoin de...
love that they're filming this like for real, getting people's authentic reactions. They don't even know it's for the video.
Ouais, t'es déglingué là.
T'inquiète, ouais, un peu quand même, ouais. J'ai besoin de...
Ouais.
Ouais.
Tu veux qu'on te dépose chez toi?
Non, ça va, ça ira, ça ira.
Ok, ça va.
Ça va?
Allez, courage. Hein.
They're nice.
Hey petite, oh pardon petit. Tu sais dans la vie, y'a ni méchant ni gentil. Si maman est chiante, c'est qu'elle a peur d'être mamie. Si papa trompe maman, c'est parce que maman vieillit. Tiens, pourquoi t'es tout rouge? Bah reviens gamin. Et qu'est-ce que vous avez tous à me regarder comme un singe vous? Ah oui vous êtes singe vous. Bande de macaques, donnez-moi un bébé singe. Il sera formidable. Formidable. Tu étais formidable, j'étais formidable. Nous étions formidables. Formidable. Tu étais formidable, j'étais formidable. Nous étions formidables.
Wow. Oh man, that made me emotional at the end there. Oh my gosh, because even in filming the video, he's screaming out. He's just singing the song as vulnerable as ever. People are walking across the street, filming him, walking past, not really considering how he may be feeling. And, people are going through a lot for whatever personal things that are going on in the lives of so many others. We can't, spend the time on everybody, but it's so sad that some people are just like walking by, ignoring him, and he's dealing with all of that pain alone. And yet it's still cathartic in that you need to experience that pain, but part of what makes it also equally tragic, and I guess I've used tragic now for both of these songs, Papaoutai and Formidable, but part of what makes it tragic is if you aren't actually healing, because in this song, he's drunk and he's still in pain, but not necessarily processing everything. He could stay stuck there, and as compassionate as you can be, one also has to recognize that you need to be in a sober state to be able to contend with all of the pain and the traumas that are afoot and confront yourself truly. And if this heartbreak was that devastating, it logically tracks that you would go down this route of drunkenness and of just being in that kind of messy stupor and kind of wallowing in the pain. And I don't even criticize that. It's just, it doesn't serve him in the same way that it could if you were sober and thinking of how to actually move forward. So I don't know. I'm in like two minds about it. I think the song, it's so beautiful, and it represents exactly the situation that so many people end up in, wallowing in their sadness and pain and feeling like, wow, everything that this relationship had that, I long for now, it was perfect. But where's the confrontation? Where's the actual true understanding of why it fell apart? Whether it was your contribution or something on their end, is there an understanding there? Instrumentally, I love the melody, that kind of back and forth, higher pitched motion that we had. Again, with the beautiful melodies, the bouncy, the danceable rhythms that are paired with these ever tragic lyrics. I'm really liking this I guess these songs so far. Man, sometimes minimalism is the way to go. Let's jump into the final track here. Lenfer. I already have chills again. 3 songs in a row, chills. Beautiful eyes.
Je suis pas tout seul à être tout seul. Ça fait déjà ça de moins dans la tête. Et si je comptais combien on est? Beaucoup. Tout ce à quoi j'ai déjà pensé. Dire que
He's implying there's many voices in his head.
ça fait déjà ça de moins dans la tête. Et si je comptais combien on est? Beaucoup. Tout ce à quoi j'ai déjà pensé. Dire que plein d'autres y ont déjà pensé. Mais malgré tout, je me sens tout seul. Du coup,
Oh.
j'ai parfois eu des pensées suicidaires et j'en suis peu fier. On croit parfois que c'est la seule manière de les faire taire. Ces pensées qui nous font vivre un enfer. Ces pensées qui me font vivre un enfer.
Dude, this is so good. It is so real. And even the visual editing there, you could see his eyes flickering back and forth almost as if he's multiple people, or like almost embodying the devil and having these hellish thoughts of, you know, suicidality. Oh, bro.
Me font vivre un enfer. Ces pensées qui me font vivre un enfer. Est-ce qu'il y a que moi qui ai la télé et la chaîne culpabilité? Mais faut bien se changer les idées. Pas trop.
He's like feeling perpetually guilty, but the thing about guilt is oftentimes it is self-perpetuated and continually reaffirmed by the self. At least that's how a lot of my guilt manifests, and so I'll kind of replay it back in my mind, and that channel stays on even though I could tuck it away, hopefully with enough work. But when it returns, it's very gripping. It keeps you there. So hard to deal with. Also loving the hair.
Changer les idées, pas trop quand même, sinon ça repart vite dans la tête, et c'est trop tard pour que ça s'arrête, c'est là que j'aimerais tout oublier. Du coup, j'ai parfois eu des pensées suicidaires et j'en suis peu fier. On croit parfois que c'est la seule manière de les faire taire. Ces pensées qui me font vivre un enfer. Ces pensées qui me font vivre un enfer.
It's again the third time now I'm using tragedy, but it's so tragic because it is actually such a logical conclusion to draw. Like, if I'm having these thoughts endlessly, the way to end these suicidal thoughts is to, and it makes sense, but it's also removing a lot of other necessary context for how we can move through life and recover and become healthier. But when you're in it, it feels so, you feel this immense despair, like you're alone. And anybody who's ever dealing with this level of mental health issues, please seek out professional help. Being alone is very hard. We need others to help us.
Vivre un enfer. Tu sais, j'ai mûrement réfléchi. Et je sais vraiment pas quoi faire de toi. Justement, réfléchir, c'est bien le problème avec toi. Tu sais, j'ai mûrement réfléchi. Et je sais vraiment pas quoi faire de toi. Justement, réfléchir, c'est bien le problème avec toi.
trapped in his own mind. Oh, bro. Oh my god. I was not prepared. I was really not prepared for this because it is so melodically pleasant, but it's all so serious and tragic and shrouded in mental illness and pain and suffering and being alone and, losing a parent, for example. This is so emotional in a way that is just direct about the topics. It's okay to be, very poetic and sometimes indirect about the meaning of certain things. And even within these tracks, there's a lot of poetry, but Stromae keeps it infinitely real. Keeps it so real. This takes a lot of bravery to put out music like this, to be as open as he is about his own mental health struggles. It is a hard thing to be able to deal with the self. That's why I suggest, if we can't deal with ourselves by ourselves, relying on others, it's not a bad thing. It's actually worth considering for sure. I love the musicality of all of this, but part of me even thinks like this is less about the melody, the rhythm, all of this stuff, this like danceable, this kind of almost like dance pop feel, this alternative pop style. All of that doesn't even matter, because what matters is the actual message of everything he's communicating. The thing is, when you package these messages in such a beautiful way, I'm like, again, to reference the previous comments I made, but I'm in like two minds about it. Like, it's so damn beautiful and it's so damn tragic, all in the same fell swoop. I love this. I need more of this. If you guys are interested, you can request more Stromae using the first link below. Oh man, this tickled a spot in my brain that I didn't know I needed tickled today. Oh, good music is good music is good music. And let me tell you, for me, music that is emotional and melodic, match made in heaven. Wow. Thank you so much, Hein, for the request today. I hope you all enjoyed the reaction. Have a wonderful rest of your day, my friends. Take care and peace.